to my podcast. If you're a new viewer, this is my channel, Sweet Pea Crafts. Goodness gracious, look at the glare on my glasses. Sorry about that. Sweet Pea Crafts is my channel, and this is mostly crochet and cross stitch, trying to learn how to knit, and occasionally quilting and sewing, and fur babies. They may make an appearance today. I'm wearing a finish today. It's so soft. Sorry that it's been so long. I wanted to get videos out every month. But I got the flu and then pneumonia at the end of February. Been sick the last 2 weeks. I have my tea in my Dachshund mug today. Today's tea is Meyer lemon. So bear with me, please, if I start coughing. And I just feel discombobulated and really out of it. But we'll see. We're going to go with it. I hate that it's already, I can't even believe it's already almost mid-March. Maybe if I sit back a little bit. Sorry. I'm in front of a window, but it's cloudy today and I needed the light. I'm in my craft room, which is a complete and utter mess. Look at that. And that. And all of this. I can't even get to my sewing machine right now, which is a whole other thing. I don't know. I think my anxiety's been really bad this last month, and I worry so much sometimes about getting stuff finished so I can show something on YouTube or post on Instagram that I don't enjoy always what I'm doing. And then I get overwhelmed with the stuff that's in here. But soon, over the summer, my guest bedroom will be, and I'm going to put a smaller bed in there and you can't see it here, but I have a desk with my computer and stuff on it. I'm going to make that an office/guest room and clear out this room some so that I can open my sewing table all the way. It's really hard to try to work on a quilt in such a tiny room. And I watch everyone else's videos, and everybody has this gorgeous craft room and these beautiful houses, and you know, I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, I don't know. Does anybody else ever feel like that? Just not good enough, that you don't, you always get to see the perfect side of everybody when they're vlogging and doing craft videos. This is my life. This is not perfect. So, excuse me while I get a sip of tea. So I'll try to not make this too long. I think I got everything out of the way. You can find me at Sweet Pea Crafts on Instagram. And this will be the only video I make for March. I'll just make a video in early April. I won't have as much to show. I can tell you that right now. One of the reasons, I never really went into it before on the last podcast, that I just sort of said I'm back again after the one before that said I'm back. But the last 4 years almost have been really rough. We had, which I'm not going to go into it a whole lot. I've talked about it in some of my other videos, but our house flooded in 2016, and that was a process that we're still not finished with. One of the things I was going to vlog about some this summer is painting the rest of my house and getting some trim hung that I haven't gotten done yet. We still don't have baseboards in half the house. It's just, you know, you start living with it and you get busy and it doesn't ever get done. And then the year after the flood, my mom got cancer. She had ovarian cancer, and she lives alone, and I'm an only child, so it's all on me to, you know, take care of her. And she's doing much better, and has been cancer free since the couple of surgeries that she had to have. Excuse me. But I have to take her later this week for a biopsy. So they found an area that they're not happy about and want to check into. So I'm hopeful that her cancer's not back. But it all just takes a toll, you know, and I kind of didn't do any crafting for a long time, and now I've hit it back hardcore, and I feel like it go from one extreme to the other. I can't seem to find a happy medium, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But I do have some finishes to show you, and I have some works in progress and some upcoming things, and I even have a few goodies to show you. So the first thing that I'm wearing, I'll take it off and show you in just a minute, is my Walrus shawl. By Addie Day Designs. And this yarn that's up close, all of the yarns in here, except for this one that's up closest to my neck, were all 80/20 superwash merino. This actually is my first time using any of my hand-dyed skeins that I've purchased. But this first one that's up closest to my neck, oh, it's so soft. It's a fingering weight, but it's 75% superwash merino and 25% mulberry silk. And it was by Blue Mule Fiber. The colorway is Lonesome Dove. I still have quite a bit of it left, and I have a whole nother skein of it, so I'll have to make something special with the rest of it. And the other 3 yarns were all from Valhalla Farms. She's not dying anymore, but they're all her farmhouse sock. I really enjoyed working with these. Like I said, it's the first time I've ever actually made anything with any of my fingering weight hand-dyed yarns. So I'll take this off and show it to you real quick. It's big. I love it. It's lightweight, but it's still warm. You all know that I live in Louisiana, so I don't generally make a lot of wearable stuff. I think I'm going to put it back on and wear it. I don't generally make a lot of wearable stuff because it stays so hot here. And I'm obsessed, I guess, apparently, with making blankets. I do enjoy making blankets. So this was my first finish, and actually just finished blacking this yesterday. My other finish, I'll have to scoot back and open it up for you, is this is by Attic 24, and this is the woodland blanket. It was run as a crochet along, but I just did it on my own time. So it starts out at the top of the blanket with kind of your woodland sky colors. I followed the colorway pattern. I really like these stripy blankets. And then you go further and further down, and it's kind of like the forest floor. Oh, I don't know if I can get it all in until you get, I'll try this, not very coordinated, to the very bottom. So it's meant to represent the leaves in autumn and the forest floor. I really, it's about a twin size blanket. And like I said, I really enjoy, that's the third one of her patterns I've made, and I have a couple more kits in my closet over here that I want to make. I really enjoy making her stuff. It's just super simple, easy crochet, mindless. You can listen to a book or watch TV and just go along row by row. It's really relaxing. Every time I finish one of her blankets, I'm like, oh, I want to start another one, but I'm not going to start another one right now. I'll tell you why in a few minutes. I have a cow that I want to actually follow. I've done a lot of cow patterns, but I generally just do them on my own time, get started with them whenever I feel like it. But this time I really want to follow along with this cow that's coming up. And do it as you know, follow along with the cow. So those are my 2 crochet finishes since my last podcast. And here is a cross stitch finish. I tried to be a little more organized today. I finished Henrietta. This was by Stacy Nash Primitives. It's one of the animal crackers. And I did not use the called for linen. I used tin roof. It was something I had in my stash. But I did use all the called for threads for her. Isn't she cute? And on the other half of this linen, I'll show you what I'm fixing to start next. So that was my only cross stitch finish, which I was still happy to get that finished in the last 6 weeks. I've really missed it. Really missed cross stitching. I didn't realize how much I'd missed it till I got back doing it. I feel weird, like you can't see my eyes. Sorry, but we're just going to go with it today since I'm so far behind on this video, and the end of this week and the next 2 weeks are going to be really busy for me. I also worked on, I don't even have, sorry. I said I was prepared, but apparently not. Not as prepared as I wanted to be. I have worked on this pattern by Reflets de Soie. This is G. Leger, 1898. It has been an ongoing whip for me for quite a few years. And I worked, let's see, try to show you. It's out of the thing today so I can show you the whole. But I did the H and the I here. And I worked on this border on this side some. And then I had started the house / barn, but I finished up this whole section here is finished. So while I'm talking about the rest of it, I'll show you what I've done. I've done the whole top alphabet and maybe about half of the real fancy one. I've done this. I finished this whole side down here. Hang on, it's on I've said before, I'm not super happy with the choice of linen that I used for this. All of this is finished on this side. So I'm really just going to keep plugging away at this, try to finish that house, which it looks like a barn to me, but I guess it's a house. And then, I guess just move up and work in this section here, work on that alphabet. I really want to finish this before May. This linen is a 36 count, I think, or 35 count. And it's coming out pretty much true to color here. It's just a cream color. I wish I'd picked something a little darker. Some of the threads don't show up that great on it. I'm using all the called for threads. I'm sorry. I'm using not the silks. You could use silks or the Gentle Art. I'm using the Gentle Art threads, and I do love them, but like I said, some of them don't show up as good on this color linen, so I may or may not tea-dye this when I get done. I'm not really sure, but I really would like to finish this barn. It's maybe halfway done. I wish I'd done this on 40 count, but no way am I starting it back over now. So that's something else I'm going to be working on this month, and I'll definitely have some progress to show on that next month in April when I put out a vlog. So I did not do any sewing this month or quilting. I think I mentioned before, I probably won't work on any quilting until I can get this room in order, because this wall here will be empty, and I need to make this like a project wall with some an area for me to pin quilts on the wall. It's just a lot easier than trying to get on the floor. So I'm not going to work on any quilts until then. I do want to do a paper piecing, English paper piecing project. I don't have any, I want some specific fabric for it. So I don't know if that'll be a project for this year, but it would be really nice if I could. So the next thing that I finished, I'm a little embarrassed to show, I'm not even gonna lie. I used some paint box cotton DK for this. It's just some yarn I had in my stash. Before I show this awfulness, I'll just say I talked before about wanting to try to learn to knit, and I did spend some time this month knitting. I knit this washcloth, and I'm going to keep it. I kept it, the very first thing that I ever crocheted, which was just supposed to be a square, and it was kind of a trapezoid. I kept it, and I'll keep this, but it's awful. I'm not even going to lie. I have the knit stitch down. I do. I just, I need to practice purling, because I mentioned before that I'm gonna knit continental. It's just easier for me. I'm used to holding my yarn in my left hand as a crocheter, so it's easier for me. But I guess I'll just quit babbling on about it and show you. Look at that. It's pitiful. I mean, this is supposed to be a little border. Like, this section is done correctly. This is not. This is terrible. I don't know. It's awful. I want so badly not to suck at this, and I do. And I've just been getting so frustrated. I haven't even tried another one. I tried just working up a swatch of just knit stitch, and I watched a couple videos on purling continental, and I haven't even wanted to fool with it. And I really want to get on with it and get better at it, because the next thing I'm going to talk about is upcoming projects that I want to work on. So I think, look, it's not even square. That's pitiful. For starters, I will show this. I did this on just some circular needles that I picked up at Walmart, and they were Susan Bates, and they are not pointy enough for me, I believe is what the issue is. So I did order some Knitter's Pride Dreams. I ordered one to practice with, and I did a little practice swatch just one day, just sitting outside when the weather was nice, and these were much easier to work with. They're wooden, but I have some really old, just regular straight needles that are bamboo, and I didn't like these. It's like my tension was way too tight on these, and I don't know, maybe if I tried using them again now that I've gotten a little better at just knitting just a knit stitch, those might be easier for me. But I do like these Knitter's Pride. I just haven't attempted the washcloth again. And this washcloth pattern was a pattern that there was a video tutorial for on Bonnie Bay Crochet. And there's nothing wrong with the video tutorial. She's a crocheter that knits just a little bit, and it's a great tutorial. I just, when I was dropping stitches or knitting wrong, like in the wrong part of the stitch, I still haven't figured out how to undo it without undoing a whole bunch of rows. Like I haven't figured out how to pick up stitches or to fix my work like I can in crochet when you have to pick something out. I still need to work on that. I've watched a couple of videos on it. So that is living in this bag, and I have a little bit different color of some of the same paint box yarn that I'm going to attempt another one this month, and we'll see if it looks a little better. I hope it does. And I'm going to attempt to do some work on my continental purl stitches, because I know once I can get the hang of that, I can go ahead and get busy with some of the stuff I want to do. I never really intended to I don't want to drop my crochet and just be a knitter, but I would love to learn to knit socks and a few other things. I'll always have, my first love will always be crocheting blankets and working on that, but I would like to do a few other things. So while we're still on knitting, I don't have the pattern printed, but I'll give a shout out to her channel, and I will try to link it down below. Earthtones Girl is doing a kind of my first pair of knitted socks video tutorial, and most of the videos are up already. I thought that I was just going to be able to whiz through a washcloth and get into this, and it would be just the easiest thing ever, and I would be making a pair of socks. Joke's on me. But I did buy some sock yarn. I didn't want to, I have a few other skeins of hand-dyed yarn, and I didn't want to really mess those up, so I bought some sock yarn, and she suggested 2 different kind of needles. They weren't super expensive, so I bought, I did watch her intro video, so I bought these Addie ones and these Hayas. They are both different sizes, and I'll be doing magic loop. I at least know that much. One of those, the Addies are, I can't read it because the sticker's in the way, of course. What size are these? They are 2.5 millimeter, and the Hayas are 2.25. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to need, so I ordered one of each of those, and I got this Lion Brand Mani Petty sock yarn to use. This is the colorway knee. Like I said, I didn't want to use some super expensive yarn, and this yarn is 75 super wash wool and 25% polyamide. So that is living in my little, hopefully soon to be sock knitting bag. I bought the pattern, but I haven't printed it yet. I should have. It's for some shorty socks. Maybe next time I'll have a start on these, but I'm thinking probably no. I really want to get a little more confident at knitting, and I have hardly done any purl stitches, nothing that I could show. And I know that's the first thing, because I think they're cuffed down, so that'll be the first thing I'll have to do is a rib. I need to get better at that before I cast on those socks. So we'll see. So that's my upcoming knitting ideas. And here, let's talk about upcoming cross stitch. On the other half of that piece of linen, I'm going to do Monroe, the little mouse. And then when I finish him, I will go ahead and finish these 2. I'm not gonna go, I'm trying to be, especially with my cross stitch, kind of on a no-buy, use what I have. And I have a whole little shoebox full of hand-dyed yarns. So I just pulled, he only has 5 colors in him. Some of the colors I had the correct color for, like his little body is Garden Gate, and I have 2 partially used skeins of that. So, but my question to you is, let me pull this off. His little vest is the one color that I didn't have anything even really close to it. And it's supposed to be Gentle Arts Wood Rose. I have quite a bit of this Weeks brick, and this is all that I have of this Weeks Aztec. So which color do you think for his little vest? I'll show you his picture again. I think I'm going to go with the Aztec. I think I like the Aztec better. I'm just not sure if I have enough of it. And I really would be super mad if I had to order some more or pick it out. So I don't know. I think I do, though, that It's really not that much. I think this should be enough. So I don't know. Tell me what you think, the brick or the Aztec. But I have pulled the colors for this, and probably after I finish this podcast, probably gonna get that going and get started on that today. I really enjoyed stitching the first one. So my future for this month for cross stitch is to do the Little Mouse Monroe and to keep working on the reflects to swab pattern that I just showed you. And as far as crochet, the pattern that I want to start, I wrote it down. Where's it at? I think it's the Fruity Flowers or Fruit. I think it's Fruity Flowers. Anyway, it's another Janie Crow pattern. Well, this doesn't, Janie Crow. It's another Janie Crow pattern. And having started the Indian Roses blanket, I know that her patterns are really detailed, and she will be doing video tutorials for the kind of tougher parts. I wish I had a picture to show you, but I'm filming with my phone. But if you want to go and look at it, check out her website. Just Google Janie Crow, and it'll come up. And when I come back and do my podcast next month, I should have, the pattern will be out then. I should have at least a picture of what it's going to look like. I'm going to have to, I hope I have my stuff in time to start this with everyone else. I think the crochet along starts middle of April, but I will have to order my yarn from, I'm going to order the yarn pack. It'll be an early Mother's Day gift from Wool Warehouse in the UK. And yarn packs don't go on sale to the very end of March. They have a new, I'm going to do the yarn pack that is, they have a new yarn out. It'll be the darker color blanket, and it's cotton bamboo. So I'm kind of excited about that. I've never worked with a cotton bamboo blend before. And we just don't have that many choices here where I live. I have a Joann's about an hour away from me, but your choices in DK weight yarn are just slim. And cotton, there's just really, Hobby Lobby sells an okay cotton, but there just aren't that many colors available, you know. So I prefer, sometimes I pull my own stuff and I just do whatever color I want to do, but I prefer really to get the packs, and shipping from the UK is super inexpensive. So I'm really excited about that. Will be an heirloom blanket. I think it runs through the middle of the summer, and I'm really gonna try to keep up with that one and work it with the cow. That, like I said, that'll be the first time I've ever actually followed along with one, but I joined the Facebook group for the cow, and I'm really excited about that one. While I'm waiting for it, I don't really want to start another big project for crochet, and it's coming up on summer. I do have some other shawls. I mean, on Ravelry, I have a whole list of stuff in my wish list that I want to make, but I don't think I'm going to start anything else right now like that. When I start a crochet project, I like to stick with one project at a time, because it's just, I remember the pattern. If it's a little bit more complicated pattern, and I don't know, I'm just kind of a more one at a time project with crochet. So I'm going to work on this. I can bring this with me when I have to take Mom to her doctor's appointments, and I showed you last time, I don't have it right here, but I did one complete square. I'll show you a picture of what there's the finished blanket on the back while I'm rambling. I've done one complete square, and I've started out all my centers for my full squares. There'll be some triangles, some that will have to be done for the edges. So I'm just going to work on this until the other cow starts. And also, the other thing, like I said, I don't think I'm going to get as much crafting done for the rest of the month of March. Next month I won't have as much to show as far as like finishes and excuse me, making such big progress. But I do have some fabrics that I bought, some online and some right after Christmas I went to Joann's, and I really want to clear out enough space to use my sewing machine to make me a drawstring project bag. So I think I'm going to use these two fabrics. This one with the cute little hedgehogs on bicycles. How sweet is that? And then I'll probably line it with this. Nothing super exciting. I just am missing doing some sewing, and I prefer drawstring bags to use with crocheting and knitting. That way you don't ever have to worry about catching your yarn in the zipper. So hopefully I'll have that to show next time. If not, it's on the horizon. And so I guess the last, I think I talked about everything that I've finished and that I'm working on. I will show you some incoming goodies. Like I said, every month I won't have this to show, but I should have had these 3 yarns last time when I did my podcast, but they did not. It took almost a month for these to come in, and I don't have the box anymore, but I'm pretty sure Premier that it comes from Canada. There's no way. It should never have taken a month to get to me. I was pretty disappointed. Their shipping is high unless you spend like $75. These were all on sale. I didn't want to spend $75. I know that Joann's sells some of this Premier yarn, but they did not have this on their website or in store. And these are DK weight yarns. I specifically wanted to knit cowls with these, just some kind of plain cowls, not cowl, cowls like around your neck, with these, so I could see how the pattern works. And it is very nice yarn. It's just acrylic, but it's real squishy. This colorway, and there's plenty of it in here, and I thought that I would make some Christmas gifts with these. So this is Pewter Rose, and then this colorway is Apricot Blossom. So these two are their bloom yarns. I ordered two colorways in that, and then I ordered 2 colorways of their Nordica yarn, and this is their anti-pilling acrylic, and it's not quite as, it's soft in a different way. I don't know how to explain it. It's got definitely a sheen on it, but it's pretty too. This is the pattern that it should make when you knit with it. I know already that this pattern doesn't come out quite as nicely when you crochet, and then you have to single crochet to get it. So I purposely ordered these yarns to be for knitting. This colorway is Thistle, and then this one is the same yarn, the same Nordica yarn, and it is Ice Blue. And there's the picture of how it should come out. So again, I was just going to do some simple cowls with this. I think somewhere in my stash I have some mohair yarn. I thought about holding up a strand of mohair with that and working it like that. We'll see. I don't think that's going to be something that I start this month because, you know, I suck at knitting. I don't know. I want to learn. Right now, I'm not in the right headspace to really give it 100%. Just kind of have a lot going on. So I'm going to keep plugging away at it, though. And if anybody has any tips or any videos that would be helpful, please let me know. I hope I'm not boring y'all. So I have I've had my eye on ordering from Expression Fiber Arts for a while. Actually, her tutorials on continental knitting are the ones that have been the most helpful for me. And I'm on her email list, and I believe every month this year she's doing a colorway, like a floral inspired colorway. So I have 2 of them. I don't know if I missed January or if these are January and February, since she hasn't released March yet. I'm really not sure. But I did splurge and order a few things from her that I've had. This colorway was the first one that I ordered. I'll just show you instead of... This is her Oasis fingering. It's 50% camel, 50% mulberry silk, 457 yards. It is so soft and so beautiful, and that's pretty much true to color. If you haven't checked her channel out, she's just the cutest thing ever. And all of the colorways are coming. The special ones for her floral colorways of the month for the year are coming with little pins. So this one is a rose. I don't know, a vintage rose. That was the color of that one. I don't know if I even said it. And so the second one that I've seen is called Blue Hyacinth. And what I was really hoping for with some of these is that I could use them in a fade. If not, there's plenty of yardage to make something with one skein. I did not order multiple skeins. These are 500 yards in each skein, so they are fingering, but I think they're kind of a light fingering, which is fine. But this is the Blue Hyacinth colorway. It's the same base. It's the Oasis fingering, 50% camel, 50% mulberry silk. It's beautiful. That's pretty true to color. Oh, they're so soft. I do love these. And they'll be for something really special. Probably won't use those anytime soon. And the Hyacinth little pin looks like this. And then when I ordered the Blue Hyacinth, I think there was a special... Sorry, I think I'm going to sneeze. I think there was a special, I'm not sure, but I got some of her sock yarn. I got one skein of her sock yarn that I do want to use to make socks with when I get better at it. This is her Sincere sock. It's the name of this. These were, I like how she does her monthly, I'll just show you the yarn while I'm blabbering. Her monthly subscriptions. Can't find my words. There were I think 3 different colorways you could choose from. It was a surprise, but it's not quite this gray. It's more of a purpley blue gray. You're not locked into anything. You just buy it by the month. So when I get the email, I want to say it was like 15% off. And this is her Sincere socks. It's 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this colorway is Create Joy. Joy. Where did that come from? This is Create Joy. So you didn't get to see, you just got to see an inspiration photo. You didn't get to see what the colorway exactly looked like. And like I said, I think there were 3 different choices. And I'm really happy with this. Blue is my favorite color, and I think this will make a really pretty pair of socks. And this one also came with a little pin. I need to, I want to make my project bag and put all my pins on it. I don't have a ton of them, but apparently it's a thing, and I need to get some more. There are a few YouTubers that I follow that I'd really like to get a pin from, but the pin says, have a cup of positivity. Really cute. So those were my purchases since, like I said, the Premier yarns I'd ordered back in January. And it just took them almost a month to get here, which, you know, it shouldn't have taken that long. So, and next month probably won't really have anything in the way of purchases to show unless they have the new colorway of whatever her next floral colorway is going to be. I'll order that. But I am trying not to spend a lot of money on yarn, and I'm trying to, what I do spend, I want it to be something that I'm really looking forward to using, not just, oh, I'm buying this yarn because it's on sale, it's on clearance or whatever, it's really good price, I might find something to do with it. I really want to buy yarn that's going to be something I enjoy, not just to get a project out and done. I'm working hard this year on being, whatever craft I'm doing, taking my time with it, being more mindful, not worrying so much about getting stuff done that I have things to show on social media. So sometimes I might come on with a podcast and just be blabbering away for 20 minutes without much to show. I had a good bit to show this time, so I didn't pull. There are a couple other things I wanted to pull to show you. My other two blankets, I've done the Sweet Pea blanket by Addict 24 and the hydrangea blanket, and I'll show those next time. I just didn't bring them with me this time because I had so much to show, and I know I won't have as much in April. And then I have a shawl over there that I did with a Shapey's Whirl back when I first started crocheting, and I'll show you that one too. That's the only other shawl like this that I have ever finished. So I believe that's it. Last thing before the end of the podcast, I kind of already shouted her out, but I want to try to shout out a channel every once in a while. And Earthtones Girl, like I said, I'll try to remember to leave a link for her channel. She's great. She's so funny, and she really explains very well and in depth. And from what I've watched, I haven't watched many of her videos, but I'm looking forward to catching up. And also TL Yarn Crafts, Claudia, I'm sure a lot of you already know about her. She's about to start up a new Tunisian crochet cowl that I really have my eye on. I haven't ever done any Tunisian crochet, but it looks, your finished product looks a lot like knitting, and it looks so great. And I know that I have some yarns that would look great. I was a member of Knit Crate for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and I have never used one skein of that yarn. I liked Knit Crate. Their yarn was nice. It was a really great value for what you got, but 90% of what they send you in their membership crate is DK weight yarn, and they'll send like 2 skeins, and it takes a lot of, usually their crochet pattern is something that is not real useful for me. And so I just hung on to the yarns, hoping that, because it takes more yarn to crochet than it does to knit, hoping that I would learn to knit, because I liked a lot of the knit patterns, but most of the crochet patterns that were free, that came in the little booklet, were not ones that I was, you know, super excited about. And but I know that I have enough colorways. I think you need 2 skeins of 2 colorways to do the Tunisian shawl that is going to be on TL Yarn Crafts website and video tutorial for that. And I don't have any Tunisian hooks, but I am pretty interested in starting that possibly. So I may do that, because I know I already have the yarn. I'll only have to get a hook to do it. I'm kind of pretty interested in doing that. It'll give me a chance to use some of my Knit Crate yarn and learn a new craft. I think I can pick that up pretty easily. It's kind of just crocheting back and forth, not turning your work, I believe. I've watched some videos. So we'll see. So there's my shout out for Earthtones Girl and TL Yarn Crafts, 2 great channels. And I guess being sick this month, I watched a lot of TV and I watched a lot of Netflix. I caught up on whole dark except for season 5. I'll have to get that on Prime, and I haven't done that yet. But I had season 3 and 4 that I had not watched. I had recorded, so I watched those 2 seasons. And what else did I watch? What has everybody else been watching? Anything good? If you have any good tips for me for stuff to watch, leave it down below. I really wanted to watch Downton Abbey, the movie, but my stepdaughter bought it, and we were going to watch it together, and we just have not been able to get together and do it, so I haven't watched that yet. I watched a couple of true crime. I do like to watch true crime and listen to true crime podcasts. I watched a couple of shows on Netflix that were pretty rough. The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez, that was tough. It was I thought it was really well done, but wow, that poor baby. And the pharmacist, that happened, that took place not that far from where I live, a couple of hours away. And so that was interesting. Those were 2 things that I watched this month on Netflix. Netflix for me is kind of feast or famine. I'll find some good stuff to watch sometimes, and sometimes I wanted to vlog some this month. Haven't really done anything. I mean, I did vlog. I did record some stuff. I can't remember now what it was. Oh, I know what it was. I recorded, one day I went out to feed the goats. I said I would show y'all the goats and stuff, and I don't know. I just let my anxiety get the better of me and thought, nobody wants to see this. I don't have the footage anymore. But especially depending on how much crafting I have to show for the beginning of April, I may, if you want to see it, let me know. I'd be glad to show you. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I know it's my anxiety acting up, and I know that I need to work on that. I haven't read any books, but I have been listening to one book on Audible, My Dear Hamilton. I'm just struggling to get through this book. I like it. The narrator's good. I think I've listened to some other books that she's narrated before, but I'm just not. This book, I feel like I don't know, it's like 25 hours long. I feel like it could have been half that long. It drags in spots, and I guess I just haven't really gotten into it. And normally I really like historic fiction, and I'm struggling with this one. It got really good reviews, but I'm kind of struggling with it. I kind of wanting to move on to something else. Oh, I know what I did listen to something that somebody recommended to me, The Wives. Wow. I don't know what else to say about this book. Wow. You know, it was okay. Not my favorite. But it was certainly, I listened to it in just a couple of days. So I guess that's, you know, I wanted to see how it finished, and it was a different book for me. Not something I normally listen to. So, but check it out if you, it's about polygamy. It's fiction, but I'm sure it's been on the bestseller list, so I'm sure, and it's a new book, so I'm sure you've probably heard of it. I guess that's it. I also listen to podcasts, mostly true crime. If you have any good ones, let me know. I need to practice looking at the camera and not at the screen. I'm not even sure if you can tell though with this glare. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to not have the glare. I can't hold my head down like that the whole time. I mean, I could, but it looks silly. Oh gosh, now I really am rambling. We're at almost 50 minutes, so I guess I'm gonna cut this short, and I hope you all are having a wonderful early spring. Easter's coming up, and I love this time of year, even though autumn is my favorite. I love every season, and I will enjoy our weather here in South Louisiana before it gets blazing hot and miserable. And I hope you are all having a blessed day wherever you are, and happy crafting. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.